Hi everyone, my name is Amy Mahowski and I'm here to share my story on suicide and mental illness. On November 29th, 2012, I lost my brother to suicide. I remember waking up that day and something just felt off. I texted my mom like every other morning telling her I was going to class and went about my day. But for some reason I sat at the very last seat all the way at the back of the classroom near the door. I happened to look down and my phone was on silent and my dad was calling me, so I stepped out of the classroom and I called him back and I was like, "What's up?" He asked me where I was and I told him class. He told me, "I need to tell you something, but it's not going to be easy." And I was like, "Okay, what?" He told me Aaron shot himself. And the words lingered in my ears, but all I could do, I dropped to my knees and I screamed at the top of my lungs. At this point, I was completely in shock and I was shaking against the wall. 3 girls came running up to me who were practicing volleyball in the gym and they asked me if I was okay. I could not even formulate sentences, words, anything. I was in tears. The dean of my college came running down the hallway and asked me if I was okay, so I just handed her my phone and she talked to my dad. With tears in her eyes, she grabbed me, took me to her office, and then sat me down to calm down a bit before she drove me home. She wanted to make sure my roommates were there. Said I couldn't be alone at this time, so called my boyfriend at the time, and he was in a rush for work, so he's like, "What?" Answered the phone, and I told him, I said, "Aaron shot himself." "What?" Said, "Aaron shot himself." That's all I could say. I had no explanation, I had nothing. Just, Aaron shot himself. Aaron was a United States Marine veteran suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder after 2 tours. He had come home in June 2012 and his body was just a shell for a trapped soul. Growing up, Aaron was always the life of the party and the one person I felt I could go to without ever worrying about him judging me. He had a gentle soul and a smile that when he'd actually show his teeth, it would light up a room. So all these questions lingered in my head. How could this beautiful person slip away into a depression so deep and so dark? And why couldn't I help him? Or what could I have done to make this not happen? Aaron lost the ability to communicate during his depression, and having a conversation with him was like pulling teeth. My parents reached out, so did I, but you can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. Aaron was hard-headed like my father, and sensitive and beautiful like my mother. He was supposed to see somebody that day, but he never showed up, and once the news got out, my Facebook and phone were flooded with messages, some of which were heartfelt and supportive, and some that were completely insensitive, such as, "How did he kill himself?" or "What gun did he use?" And to me, none of that mattered. What mattered was he was gone, and I could never hug him again. I could never say I love you one last time. It shouldn't matter to people how or why. It was the fact that he was struggling and he couldn't get out of this place. Many people suffering out there from depression, whether it's from war, heartbreak, bullying, or anything, and it's a topic that needs to be more public because there's a certain stigma to suicide and mental illness that we just often ignore. There is and always will be a hole in my heart from all the things my brother took away from me and my family. He'll never be at my wedding or an uncle to my kids, and I can never hear one last time, "That guy's an asshole, stop dating him," or get his approval for anything. He was the type of guy that would listen anytime you needed him. I could call at any point of the day or night to cry or tell him something, anything. I could share my life with him, and he was able to share his with me. So I think I hit every emotion there was during the grieving period. I felt guilty for not knowing. How could the nosiest little sister in the world not know that he was suffering to that extent? A week before he took his own life, I snuck down in the basement where he was sleeping to look at his phone, and he woke up, or actually was never asleep at all. When I got the phone, after the fact, I found out that he had been looking different ways, looking at different ways to kill himself for months. I was angry at him. Then there was a stage of happiness when I'd look at old pictures and watch silly videos of us together. I suffered from depression where I struggled to get out of bed each morning and go to class because I was afraid that I'd break down and cry for no reason. My parents had asked me, what did we do wrong as parents? And this question completely boggled my mind because, in fact, I couldn't imagine having a better childhood or life than what my parents had given me and my brother. I know my story's all over the place, but that's sort of how I feel every day now. There's not a single day that goes by that I don't think about Aaron, and I feel like there's a reason for that. I've learned that I'll never get over this, but it does get easier. Suicide and mental illness is something we need to be open about. There's someone out there who will listen to you and can comfort you. You should not be ashamed of your depression. I wish I could tell each person struggling that you are not alone in this. I was constantly in the dark after this and found it difficult to live my everyday life. But everyone deserves happiness, and sometimes it takes a while to realize there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Aaron taught me how to be tough when I was probably 6 years old. He put a boxing helmet on me and immediately punched me in the stomach. Back then, I was confused and always asked, what the heck was the helmet for? I'm now realizing that Aaron was teaching me to expect the unexpected. For the first time in 14 months since my brother's passing, I have found the strength and courage to share my story publicly because I feel it's important to spread the word. So all I ask for you to do is spread the word and also tell someone just how much you love them today and every day after that. Thank you.